From paycheck to paycheck and climbing corporate ladders to building billion-dollar empires, humans have turned what started as survival into something much more complex. Once, all we needed was food, water, shelter, and community. So, how did we go from living in forests to urban jungles, from hunting to job hunting, and from surviving to running this endless race? Once upon a time, humans were just trying to survive, much like any other animal. Life was simple, chaotic, and often brutal. Imagine our friend Tim, a prehistoric man dressed in goatskin, holding a spear, leading his family. Survival was key. They hunted, ate, and danced under the night sky. But their life had a fragile balance. On days when hunting went wrong, Tim and his family faced hunger. That's when Tim's wife suggested an idea that would forever change humanity: ask for help. Tim hated that thought. It challenged his pride and sense of independence, especially when it meant asking Jerry, another hunter who had figured out how to stack rocks to make walls. Jerry was known as the guy who always had a solution, and Tim couldn't stand how much others looked up to him. But with his kids crying in hunger, Tim swallowed his pride and headed for Jerry's camp. Tim might not have realized it, but this moment, a single act of cooperation, was the beginning of the social contract. Tim offered something in exchange, and Jerry agreed. This exchange may have seemed small, but it marked the start of an evolution toward a more interconnected human existence. The willingness to help each other for mutual benefit created a bond, and that bond grew over generations. Humanity began building relationships, cooperating, and creating communities. Cooperation evolved into trade, society, and even the very first cities. From tribes to settlements, humanity slowly laid the foundation for civilizations. As societies grew, cooperation became essential for survival. Working together meant a greater chance of defending against threats, improving the quality of life, and creating tools and innovations that none could achieve alone. They learned to domesticate animals, develop agriculture, and store food for seasons. With agriculture came settlements, villages formed, and with them the early signs of governance. Leaders emerged, rules were established, and people worked together towards common goals. Tim's single decision to seek help eventually transformed into the core of what made us human: the ability to connect, share, and work together. As much as we learn to cooperate, we also learn to compete. Humans have always desired what others possess. Tim didn't dislike Jerry, he disliked that Jerry had something better: walls. Walls meant security, and security was something Tim's family needed. This innate desire to have what others had is part of what drove human advancement. Soon, humans discovered that they could imitate or take from each other. Imitation led to innovation, but it also bred rivalry. But resources were limited. The scarcity of land, food, and tools created competition. From fighting over hunting grounds to forming empires, we expanded, fought, and evolved. We fought for fertile land, for access to water, for resources that would make life a little less brutal. Competition wasn't just about survival anymore, it was about power and status. The drive to accumulate wealth became a standard for survival itself, except now it wasn't about immediate physical needs, but rather about comfort, power, and influence. Empires were built and wars were waged. Humanity was driven by the desire for more land, more resources, more control. As societies advanced, the nature of competition evolved. It became less about hunting grounds and more about who could accumulate the most wealth and power. Money became the ultimate symbol of success. It allowed people to get what they wanted without direct barter. Money was security, influence, and opportunity all in one. And so, the human race shifted from cooperating for survival to competing for dominance. Fast forward to today, we've moved from surviving to thriving. No longer do we hunt for food, we order it online. We have comfortable homes, modern technology, and every conceivable convenience. But there's a catch. Money became the new means of survival, the currency of comfort. The world runs on money now, and it's no longer about just having enough to live. It's about having enough to live comfortably, to experience more, and to feel secure in an unpredictable world. In prehistoric times, cooperation meant giving something to get something instantly in return, which is called bartering. Now, money lets us trade value without needing the return immediately. It's as if Tim could give Jerry a promise of help and cash in on it later. That's money for you. Money allowed us to expand trade, build empires, and develop modern economies. It enabled people to save, invest, and make choices that were previously impossible. It allowed specialization, where people could focus on their unique skills instead of worrying about daily survival. However, money is finite, and this finiteness fuels competition. To have the comforts of life, people chase more and more money. It's like a never-ending game where the price keeps shifting further. As individuals, we start to measure our worth by what we own, how much we earn, and how comfortably we live. The pursuit of money became a pursuit of status, creating a societal pressure that pushes us to compete relentlessly. Tim hated Jerry because Jerry had something Tim didn't. In today's digital world, we are all Tims, and the people we follow online are our Jerrys. We see their flashy lifestyles, their travels, their luxuries, and we want the same. We see a travel influencer visiting a country we never knew existed, and suddenly it's on our bucket list. We see someone in a sports car and we feel the need for speed too. But here's the twist, it's not that money or desire is bad. Money is essential, especially if you don't want to live off the land in harsh conditions. But the question is, do we truly need a sports car? Do we genuinely want to visit that country? Or do we just want it because we saw it online? Our desires are no longer our own. They are shaped by endless social media feeds, marketing, and the pressure to live a life worth showcasing. We are bombarded with images of success that push us to chase after more and more. Bigger houses, better cars, more experiences. So we keep running, working overtime, starting side hustles, expanding businesses, all to afford things we often don't even have time to enjoy. It's a paradox. We work so hard to make money for dreams we don't have the time to fulfill. The race keeps going, but we must ask ourselves, is this the race we want to keep running? Are we running towards a life we genuinely want? Or are we running just because everyone is? This race has blurred the lines between needs and wants. It has made us believe that success is measured by possessions and the number of likes on a post. We are constantly comparing ourselves with others, often people we have never met. And as we compare, we crave more. We want to be better, richer, happier. But at what cost? The truth is, this race is exhausting. We often sacrifice time with our loved ones, personal passions, and even our health just to keep up. And at the end of the day, even when we achieve what we think we want, we find ourselves longing for something else. The race never ends because the finish line keeps moving. It's not about stopping. It's about deciding which race is worth running and, most importantly, why you are running it. Life is not a treadmill unless we choose to make it one. The choice is yours.